Hey there, folks. Happy Sunday to you. Coming at you live with this week's Stocks to Watch. The short version. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey, real quick, AMOV, some AT&T stuff. AMOV and what is it? AMX, I think it is. Yeah, maybe worth watching. There's some news that AT&T might be doing something with them for tower rentals. So just read that you might want to keep an eye on it for potential play. So let's just go ahead and get rolling here. My overall take on the markets is we're likely to continue to see that choppiness that we've been seeing, trading within a range. And we're likely to have an interesting week next week with stuff going on in Greece. And then also we've got the Fed. So, we could continue to see some more choppiness, range bound stuff, unless we break down off of, the market's reaction to the Fed or something terrible happening in Greece. Then, things could get fairly interesting. Volatility could pick up. But overall, in general, the markets still look fairly strong. The indexes look fairly strong. We haven't broken the uptrend that we've been in. We'll just see if we can continue that, or if things actually do break down. But anyway, CGA was something that had a nice little pop on Friday. I think it was following SEED, SEED. It looks like maybe it closed right at the high of the day. Good volume. Looks it's not overbought. We could get a red to green play, some kind of a move. It can be a pop and flopper, so you have to be careful. Don't go chasing this thing on a gap up, right? Wait for a pullback, potential entry. But a red to green would be a pretty nice setup. Maybe go up and test somewhere around $2.80 or so. MPTN, this is a bit extended. It is piercing the upper Bollinger Band, but this $11 seems like it could be a big spot for it. Testing 52-week highs. It's not overbought. You could see a red to green continuation move, take out of 11. I think it's worth having on the radar. APT, there's just some news out of Korea. I think it was Korea. Um, this MERS thing is not looking real good. You could see a continuation of this APT. I definitely think it's worth having on your radar. APT and Lake both could see some action next week, so keep an eye on it. I'm looking for a 260 roll, or actually about a yeah. I'm looking for a red to green. I'd like to pick it up, APT, somewhere around 255 or so. We'll see how it acts Monday. It could be a gapper. IBIO, been watching this one for a while now, looking for the $1 roll with some conviction. Had a little pop on Friday. Didn't get much follow through, but I am looking for potential continuation next week. KEYW, another one that is a bit extended. Looking for a red to green move. Actually, this may be one that I would want to try and consider somewhere down here around the 200-day moving average. If it got a pullback, it'd be more of a swing, but I don't know that you're going to get that opportunity. This is a pretty big spot for it, this $11. And the weeklies just crossed, stochastic, it's not overbought. You could see some more movement in this thing. I know it's hard to, you don't really want to chase it, or I don't want to chase it. But I am keeping an eye on it for a potential entry next week. Let's go back to the daily. Red to green move would be sweet, but not sure that it's going to happen. ATEN, just it closed over the 200-day moving average. It's still got this gap to fill on the daily. Looking for a potential $7 roll. Fill this gap up to 776. I've been watching this thing forever. Didn't take it, and I'm not exactly sure. When I think every time this thing reports earnings, it gets killed, but. It's worth keeping an eye on, right? For a potential day trade of a crack over $7, or maybe dip my toe on a swing on a low volume pullback to 650 or something. I don't know. But I am keeping an eye on that 810. I did dip my toe a little bit in Gurn on Friday. I've been watching this thing for a while, looking for it. Tried to take out 4, didn't follow through, but looking for a potential continuation next week. WYY, this is one I already own. This is a long-term hold. The hottest sector I think that is out there is cybersecurity. So FireEye, FTNT, WYY, some of these smaller security names I think could get some play. So keep an eye on WYY and of course the other bigger names too. ABIO, not so crazy about this one. It is looking overbought, but dollar roll, potential day trade. It does pop and flop, so you got to be careful. Testing the 200-day moving average, looking for a dollar roll with conviction. I think it could get fun. NVGN, you know, it looks as though maybe it's found its bottom. I'm not sure, for a quick bounce. Maybe come back up and test $6 or so. It did crack over 5 last week. Want to see if we get any kind of continuation on that bad boy. AMCN, big. This thing's been stair stepping up. Had a little pop on Friday. Looks like stochastics maybe getting ready to cross to the upside. Testing 52s, 52-week highs. It's extended. It's extended on the daily. It's extended on the weekly. But this is a big spot for it. The 750, $8. If it breaks through $8 with conviction, this thing could continue to run. I think it's worth having on the radar. Maybe take it for a day trade. I wouldn't exactly buy it for a swing, but it is interesting from a day trade perspective. GTXI, nice little. This thing popped over all its moving averages, and then consolidated a bit, and it's retesting this 130. 130 seems to be a pretty big spot for it, right? For price resistance. If they can take out 130, I think it goes and tests 150, 160, and then if it can take out this trend line, it could really get ripping, right? Let's take a look at the weekly on it. 100-day moving average, this trend line. It's got a big gap to fill on the weekly. Could come up and test the 200-day moving average, somewhere around $2.75 or so. I think this one could be a good day trade, or potentially a good day trade. AFMD, another one that's had a nice run, pulling back. $10.56 is kind of where I was looking at for maybe dipping my toe, or if it takes out the trend line for a 12 roll, it'd be worth taking it for a day trade. SZYM, full disclosure, I own Lottos, and I did take a swing position in this thing last week. My entry on it wasn't that great, $3.30. Raymond James came out, had a nice little upgrade in this thing on Friday. A nice report on it. Looking for a potential continuation. I still hold the shares that I bought at $3.30. If I get a break below this trend line here, I probably would bail out of those and then look to maybe reestablish somewhere around 268. I want to buy this thing for the long-term hold. I want to build to my lotto position in my long-term hold account, but I'll also take it for a day trade. So RLD, $13 roll. I like it. Testing 52-week highs. May need a bit more time, but this $13 is a pretty big spot for it right here, right? If it takes out 13 with conviction, it could get fun. I think it's worth keeping on your radar. INVN, so on this one. Looking for a $15 roll with some conviction. Maybe it's fun. Probably needs some news to accompany that move. Could come back up and test the 200-day moving average around 1640 or so. CSOD, another one that is flirting with this trend line. It's clearly in a downtrend. Flirting with it, though. Flirting also with the 200-day moving average. Look for it to break the trend line, take out the 200-day. It could get fun. ZHNE continues to consolidate after this big pop over the moving averages. Looking at around, looking for it to break out to over 270 with conviction. I think it could get fun. It might need a bit more time to consolidate. MCHX testing the 200-day moving average. A little bit sloppy here. Big gap to fill on the daily. If it takes out the 200-day, takes out $5, this thing could get fun. So I think it's worth keeping an eye on for a crack over 5 with conviction and a crack over that 200 EMA. LLNW continues to consolidate a bit after this big pop. It's more of a grinder, kind of a thick stock, but I do like it. I may take it for a swing if somewhere around the $4 range and hold it for a long-term hold. I may start a swing around $4, $3.99, somewhere in there. DAR had a big old pop, then consolidating, looking for a potential $16 roll. I think it'd go up test 1650 or so. and then it's going to come up into this 200-day and this trend line and experience some resistance there. But that's a pretty nice little clip if you can catch it for a day trade. Click more of a swing or long-term hold. Looks like stochastics are curling to the upside, tested 52-week highs. This seems to be this 37 box. 37 seems to be a pretty big spot. If you take out 37, could be fun for a day trade. VNDA, $13 roll. It came up into this trend line, and it's really kind of just consolidating there. It is overbought. This might need more time. Maybe look for it to pull back a bit, but if it takes out 13 with conviction, it could be a decent day trade. RDN, looking for a takeout of 52-week highs around 1850 or so. It's got a nice look to it. This is a big area. 1850 is a big area. If they can take it out with conviction, it could get fun. Let's see. Crown, another one that's messing with its 52-week highs. $4.50 basically would be a good break. And stochastics look like they're curling to the upside. I mean, 52-week highs. It's interesting, and I think it's worth keeping an eye on for a break. Zixi, another one of those cybersecurity stocks that I think, one of the smaller names that I think could be in play. And I've missed this thing 3 times, and it's frustrating. Maybe it consolidates a bit more like it has done in the past, but I think this one is worth keeping an eye on. If you get a pullback somewhere around 475, 477, maybe a good place to look at taking it for a swing. If it takes out, 505 with real conviction, could be a decent day trade. IDRA, so-so. I mean, it's a so-so look, right? Looking for a trend line break. I mean, it seems to be hanging out tough around these moving averages. Looking for it to take out this trend line, maybe go up, test $4. TBBT. I mean, look, this is a snapback play. This is kind of what I'm looking at. Maybe had a nice little reversal candle on Friday, right below $14. Maybe looking for it to take out 14 for conviction. Just be a quick day trade. Recent IPO. You got to be careful. I mean, this thing definitely can waterfall, so it might be just the beginning of this drop. But for a possible snapback, quick day trade, I might take it. TBBK, regional bank, need to do a little homework on this one. But, banks, if we start getting interest rate increases, banks are likely to do well. The sector's been doing well. I like the fact that this one just closed over the 200-day moving averages. Looking for it to take out basically 1050 with conviction or $11. I think maybe this might be more of a swing, and I need to do a bit more homework on it before I go jumping in. TRXC, this thing had this thing got smashed, right? Well, I thought this doji was kind of interesting right here on a big volume day. Indecision as to what to do with the stock from this point forward. You got some resistance or support, I should say, at the $3 mark. And guess what? They just did an offering at priced $3 a share. So this may be a time to look at a possible snapback play in this name. And I think they raised $50 million. Now they got $50 million on the books, and this could be a good bounce area for it. So I might look to play this thing for a potential bounce. And that is it, folks. That's all I've got for this week's watch list. Be careful next week with the Fed and Greece and all this stuff. If you can't find the right setups, there's nothing says that you have to trade, okay? Be careful out there. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you all next week.